As a photographer who regularly gets paid to take street style candid photos for multiple different companies, I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks on what I do to achieve this style, some behind the scenes video and example photos. It is very high up here. Why did I do this? Truly, utterly insane to me that you think I don't look cool on this step through white fat tire e-bike with a helmet on. I thought safety was sexy. So I am out here in this beautiful, calm place next to a babbling brook because this video is about capturing the chaos of candid photography and street photography. A little background about me, I have been shooting for, how old am I now? 27, a while, over 10 years, sure, professionally. And a lot of those jobs, from necessity, have had me take photos candidly of crowds. People who don't necessarily know they're getting photos taken of. Frequently, they've signed a release to say that they are, but they didn't read it. So because of that, I've been doing candid photography or street photography, however you want to call it, for a while. And at first, out of necessity from jobs, I worked at a camp and at a theme park, both in their marketing departments, taking photos that were going to be used for ads, but the best subjects were always candid photos. So that's always what I ended up taking. More recently, I took photos for Coachella and an art studio that they have that's open for campers. Throughout this process, I learned to love candid photography. Frequently, I've gotten jobs paying way less than I'd like doing behind the scenes because I really enjoy it. I've grown to just love that style of work. And often I feel like I'm photographing people who don't necessarily get photographed all that much. And it's nice because I feel like they appreciate it a lot. There are some challenges for sure with candid photography and street photography, and people will endlessly debate about the ethics of this. I'm not really here to discuss the ethics of this type of photography right now, especially street photography, because it can get a little bit gray. Photographing candids in crowds has a few challenges. There's a couple ways to get around these challenges, and the first one is being stealthy. And this one works great if you're perfect at it. The moment that you slip up and somebody sees that you're taking a photo, it feels way worse in a way because you're sneaking about. It feels extra creepy. So that's one way, and it works great if you're never seen. The other way, which I prefer, is engaging with your subject. I love your hair so much. Can I get a shot? That's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. I find that it just feels better in general. However, there's an issue with that, and that is you don't want to engage and interrupt the moment or the image. What I find works really well, but you take the photo, you engage with the subject, and then you take another photo. For me, this works really well because you get that authentic moment at first. Then you engage, and then you take another photo, and really it becomes a congealed moment. They're not like, oh, he took a photo before talking to me and then talked to me. It's more like, oh, I had an interaction. I find that way just makes it feel less awkward or weird. And it very frequently works. I've very rarely ever had anyone, after I've engaged with them, say, oh, I didn't want those photos taken. And if they say that, I'll delete them immediately. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight with anybody. I just will get rid of those images, even if I think they're great. That being said, I do use the stealthy route sometimes if I find that the subject is so engaged with a task that talking to them in any way would interrupt them and make it worse. I'll just shoot and keep moving if I don't feel like I'm intruding. While shooting at the Coachella Art Studio, I had one of those moments where somebody was just so focused and enthralled, and it's this photo right here. I walked right in front of him to engage with him, and then take a picture because it seemed like someone very friendly and like I could definitely engage with them. And he was so incredibly focused, he never noticed me, even though I was like right in his eye line. He was figure drawing one of the models that was there, and I took a full flash photo right into his face, and he never once changed view, looked at me. Now you can make an argument for being at Coachella, and maybe there was some chemical help with his focus. Regardless, I love the image. I just, the emotion of him staring directly so intently. And after that, I started using the flash a lot more in the tent. The next 2 days of shooting the tent, I used the flash, and some of my favorite images were from there. And most of the time, when using a flash, you have to engage with the subject because it's just so obvious of what you're doing that you really need to have a connection. And also I find once you make that connection for the first time, you can kind of just give like a wink and a nod to the person as you come back around and take another photo if there's something else they're doing that you like, because they understand, oh, this person is taking photos, they're nice, it's not an issue. So I find that's also really helpful. Moving through a chaotic environment with a lot of people is actually like an issue I have in general, mentally. Like I have had panic attacks in busy, crowded malls where I feel like, oh shoot, I can't get out, you know, that type of thing. And I wonder if that's why I enjoy photographing in those environments. I have a task to focus on. I'm not focused on this crowd of people in that way, I'm focused on individual moments. That's just such an important takeaway for when you're photographing in chaos, is look for the small moments, because those are the ones that stand out the most. So I encourage anybody watching this to please try it. If you've never done any street photography or candid photography in general, it's a blast. It takes a minute to get into the flow state of really finding and capturing all these little moments in the chaos, but it's beautiful and it's so fun once you get into it. And not to mention, you have to move so quickly in the moment that looking at the images after you have like that thrill of like developing film where you really didn't know what you got until you're editing and you see these incredible shots that may have been a split-second decision in the moment. Each shoot is a learning experience, and I mean, even just this last weekend shooting at Coachella, I learned so much about how to shoot candidly with a flash, something I've not really done before. And I hope this video for you can be that first initial jumping off point, that first bit of knowledge to get started and then learn more and more each time you shoot and develop your own creative style of shooting candids. I think the truest and most beautiful moments happen in chaos. Please let me know if this video inspires you to shoot anything. I love when that happens. If it did, please write down in the comments or follow me on Instagram and tag me with the photos. Anyway, I should probably ride back, and you should probably get out there and take some pictures after you subscribe to my YouTube channel. But anyway, that's gonna be it. Have a good one.